On this episode, episode 75 of the podcast, I'm going to talk about test drives, dog jumps, and challenge results of my 65 Roads Challenge. So let's get into it, everybody. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode, another edition of the Luke Who's Talking podcast with me, Luke. How you doing out there? Hope you're doing okay. Anyway, now let's get into the first little story for you. So the other day, last week, I don't know, in the last 2 weeks, I'll say that, it's maybe 3. Anyway, somewhat recently, I took a vehicle for a test drive. So as you may know, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but late last year I had 2 vehicles. I had a 4-wheel drive and just be regular runabout. Anyway, so I sold the 4x last year. The idea to consolidate to a vehicle that sort of does a bit of both, right? So I've been looking at sort of a all-wheel drive, smallish SUV type thing. And I think I've settled on a vehicle, and I took said vehicle for a test drive the other week, and that was a Subaru excuse me, about to burp then, was I? Maybe. Anyway, it was a Subaru XV I took for a drive. Now, here's the reason why I've at least settled. Here are my reasonings behind that particular vehicle, okay? Because it's like, look, I don't need a ute. Everybody, my sister has a ute, my brother has a ute, dad has a ute, and if I need to shift anything, tow anything, whatever, I mean, I've got ute options. And I don't need a big vehicle because it's just myself, right? Basically, my requirements are something that I can take up some gravel, and mild, very minimal off-roadish, and also something I can put my bike in, so I can lock it in the vehicle, and I can get it in my car at the moment. I've got to take the wheel off, and it's a bit of manoeuvring. I don't want to do that anymore. And also, it is hard for me, and I'm yawning again, why? It is hard for me to get my mountain bike in my car. It's just not on. And I want something that I can, put the mountain bike in easily with no problem. That's where I'm at. So I think the Subaru XV ticks those boxes because it is an all-wheel drive vehicle. Now, I have looked at other vehicles, Mitsubishi, Toyota, Kia, Hyundai, etc. Now, if I want an all-wheel drive vehicle in any of those other manufacturers, I have to get, the top trim spec, for example. I had a look at a Kia, and I think you have to get at least, like, the vehicles, they all seem to have about 4 trim levels. So you've got your poverty pack, mild, sort of next one up, mid-range, a bit more swanky, and then your top one, which always seems to be like the sport or whatever. With all the vehicles, it seems to be you have to get at least a 3rd trim level for all-wheel drive to at least be an option. Whereas on Subaru, because all-wheel drive is pretty much their bread and butter, it doesn't matter what one you get. You can get the cheapie or you can get the swank. All of them are an all-wheel drive vehicle, and I want all-wheel drive. Anyway, took a vehicle for a test drive, and it was it wasn't bad. It was took a moment or two to get used to it. Of course, it's bigger than my vehicle, but not huge. It was pretty nice. So I think I might go and order myself a vehicle now. Given there's some supply dramas and whatever else, I'll have to wait probably a couple of months to get it. But that'll just give me a little bit of time to pay it off, maybe, and get the outstanding balance, as it were, down, which should be handedly doodly diddly. Yawning again. Why am I yawning? I don't know. Anyway, So I took the vehicle for a drive. It was pretty nice. And when I got back into my car, though, I was disappointed. Like with the interior, I got in and I was like, this is just a bit average, isn't it? It was not much chop at all. It was quite a contrast. I got in, I was like, wow, this is not great. I mean, there is about 7 years, I guess, of evolution, but yeah, I got in and I was like, wow, this is awful. But anyway, hopefully, if I get the vehicle, I might have a video up on the vlog channel, bit of a car review or something or other, maybe. Anyway, everybody, that is it for this. Let's go to the next segment. Welcome back, everybody. Now, actually, if you watched last Friday's vlog video, you'll see the dog jump video, which I'll put a link down below for people if you're interested in watching that. But so we went to one of the local shows the other week, and my brother, he put his dogs, plural, because he's got 2 dogs. He's got 3 dogs, but anyway, put 2 dogs in the dog jump competition. So, why am I yawning? Oh, boy. That's unprofessional. Anyway, so I have dog jumps. I've got like 3. I've got small dog, medium dog, big dog. So the little dogs are up to like 30 centimetres. And then I think the medium dogs are like 30 to 50. And then the big dogs are anything over the 50 centimetres. So my brother, he put a dog in the medium jump, and he put his other dog in the big dog jump. So I don't know where he got his name from, but she went in the medium dog jump and she won her category. She jumped 1.8 meters with that, which is pretty high. Just how the dog jump works. So they start off at so with the medium dogs, it started off at 20 centimeters, and then it goes up to 40, 60, 80, a meter, and they add 20 on it each time. They add 20 on it each time. So, and a dog has to have 3 attempts to jump over. And if you can't get over, it's like, sorry, your dog's eliminated sort of thing. So, let's just say it's a meter high, dog doesn't get over, has another go, doesn't get over, has another go, doesn't get over, you're done. But so a couple of dogs needed at least a second go to jump, to have a crack over it. But anyway, so she jumped 1.8 meters, which is pretty high, and she won her category. And won a bag of dog food because the dog jump was sponsored by one of the pet shops, which it's not a bad idea, I guess, really, is it? And then the big dogs come on. So Joe, he ended up winning that. He jumped 2.2. It was interesting because some of the big dogs didn't really start to have too much trouble until it got to about like 1.8 meters, 1.6, 1.8. It's when some of the dogs started to they needed a second go or wouldn't go for it. Like they'd run up to the wall and they'd just stop and be like, "Row, row, row, row," start barking. But so Joe, he got over 2.2 meters, which is pretty bloody high. And after even though he'd already won, they put the boards up to 2.4, and actually they didn't have any more after that. Well, actually, they didn't have any more full boards left. They only had like 2 half ones, so I put them up, and that made it 2.4. So he jumped and he got onto the top, but he couldn't quite get himself over, so he almost actually got over the 2.4. I reckon if they just put only one of the half boards up, so it would have been 2.3, I reckon he probably would have got over, but he couldn't quite get over the 2.4. But anyway, he got to 2.2, another bag of dog food. So and it's like it wasn't any dog food, it was like quite swanky dog food as well. But yeah, anyway, so dogs won the ute. Gosh, dogs won the jumping competition, and my dad, he look, Joe's a nice dog, very friendly, and for reasons Dad reckons he's the best thing since sliced bread. So he was, wouldn't leave him alone. Yeah, so Dad's Joey's boy, we call him. Won the medium dog category, won the big dog category in the dog jump, which was good. And actually, there's a lot of people watching. It's like she's watching a dog jump over like a wall. Is that interesting? Apparently it is, and there was people, getting up behind various dogs. Come on, Joe, or whoever else, and it was all very dramatic. As I said, I've made a video. It's up on YouTube, and I will pop a link in the notes down below for that for you to have a look at. Anyway, let's get into the next little segment. Well, everybody, as you may know, in the month of May, I was doing a challenge, a challenge for cystic fibrosis. Well, I can't even say it. It's a sort of the 65 Roses challenge, and it's a bit of a fundraising sort of month and whatever else. Actually, I went and spoke at a ladies' high tea as well, because they were like, "Oh, yeah, so we can do have anybody with CF come and speak," because I usually have a guest speaker. So it's like, what a concept. That is, getting somebody with like the thing you're fundraising for to come and talk to you about it and say a few words, whatever. I did plan to record that and release that out as a episode, like a podcast episode, but that didn't work out. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, but a rundown on my challenge. My challenge was to see if I could ride 650 kilometres for the month, and I thought, how much do I want to raise? And I thought, I'll see if I can raise like $1K, $650. So the numbers are in, and some of you may have seen this on the Twitters or whatever. But anyway, look, hey, I'm going to tell you about it. So I ended up riding 720 kilometres, which I wasn't expecting. Sorry for the huge mouth noise just then, but yeah, ended up riding 720 Ks, and I raised just a bit over $1,000 too. So it was like $1,001 or whatever. So I know some listeners out there made some donations, whatever else. So thank you very much. Some of you actually made some quite big ones. So thank you very much for your donations and getting behind it. All that. So thank you very much for those of you who donated. Or look, if you didn't donate, it doesn't matter. Thanks just anyway for sharing it around, talking about it, and all that jazz. That's sort of, I guess, the main goal behind it was just, if you don't donate, doesn't matter. Share it, talk about it. That's, I think, the main thing. So look, but yes, if you did donate, thank you very much. If you shared it, thank you very much. If you talked about it, thank you very much. You've done something positive, good, excellent, superb. Anyway, let's get into let's wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, very much for listening to the show. Of course, you can contact me on email, lukewho'stalkingpod@gmail.com. You can get us on Twitter at @L_who's talking. Now, this is just a side note, so if you have, I don't know how is this going to work, if you're going to have any problems or anything. If there's problems, I apologise, but I'm going to move the podcast onto a different host, because as you may know, I've started a second podcast, Luke Who's Watching, and my current podcast provider, it was going to cost me about $20 or so a month to be able to host for 2 podcasts on that platform. However, another podcast provider allows me to do that for a tenner. So I'm going to move this podcast over. So hopefully what are words? I've done that before you're listening to this. So hopefully I've done it during the week. So if there are any issues or problems or whatever else, hopefully they don't, yeah, hopefully it doesn't cause any problems or whatever else. And also, with all the links and things in the show notes, I want to put or have like a link tree or something. I think that'd be an easy, like not a bad idea, but you can just click on it and then they're all there. So, but actually I might hold out because I do want to have a website at some point. So hopefully that'll be coming at some point in the future, hopefully not too far away. Yeah, I guess, yeah. Anyway, look, everybody, thank you very much for listening. And if you've watched this, thank you very much for watching. And I will catch you, I'll catch you next time on the next episode. Thank you.